Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again for the Parrot Disco flight with the new 4G modification here. I'm running lithium ions here, 7,000 milliamp hour of lithium ion, and also the 4G mod. Hopefully it doesn't start raining on us, but I'm in Wailea, Maui, in Hawaii. It's starting to rain, so I better cover this up. The wind just completely died. I'm gonna just try to see how far along the coast of Maui here in Kihei I can fly with this 4G mod and this lithium ion setup. So let's get this thing up in the air. Hopefully no problems from the rain. I think it should be okay. Okay guys, so we're all connected. Got the 4G mod all connected up, and I'm also recording my iPad for you. You can see that we have video here through the 4G network, so we should be ready to go. Hopefully the rain doesn't interfere with our view too much. All right, so we're just gonna launch and just see how far we can get, and hopefully everything goes as planned. There it goes, climbing. It's just gonna go into its loiter, and we're gonna see how, whoa, that was a little crazy in the beginning there. When it went on a loiter, it was kind of like flapping all over the place. That was scary. Thought I was gonna shoot a battery out for a second, but it looks okay. So I'm just gonna let it kind of do its circle, and then we'll just stop it. The video looks nice and clear. You can see on my iPad screen. We're just gonna get out of loiter right now, and we're gonna go ahead and work our way down a little bit closer to the water real quick. Not too close. And all we're doing is we're following this coast as far as we can. I'm gonna go to about 60% power. Let's see, we're at 90 feet. I'm gonna go down a little more. Ooh, you can see we're getting some water there on the lens. Let's turn here. I'm gonna go just right on the edge of the coast. This should be kind of cool for some cool footage. And we'll just really see just how far we can get. I'm just gonna kind of stand here off the golf course so nobody can kick me out, hopefully. And be right here. We're making our camera go up and down real quick. Of course, I am seeing a little bit of water droplets there, but we should be okay. Man, I hope after all that weird acrobatics it was doing after that loiter, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, so there's some rain. So I guess a good test for the 4G mod in the rain, guys. Kind of interesting. We are at 100 feet. I definitely want to get down lower, so after we pass this tree here, I'm gonna turn right a little bit. Beautiful here, look at this. Right over the shoreline. So kind of after we pass this stuff, I do want to kind of try to get down a little lower. Just a little bit. We're at 70 feet now. Still pretty fluid video. You can see that I do have some water creeping up on the lens. Alright, so just hoping the electronics are going to be okay. We're at 1 mile. And just really hoping the electronics are going to be a-okay. Let's see if we can kind of adjust our exposure a little bit. That's brightening it up. And this is kind of darkening it a little bit. It just looked a little bit washed out for a moment there. So I'm going to maybe be right around there. And all right, well, I'm gonna kind of tune out with the talking, and let's just enjoy this shoreline flight and just really see how far we can get on this 4G without hitting any palm trees, right? Looks like we're gonna hit those palm trees, so let me move to the right a little bit. I'm just gonna go down just a little bit more. 50 feet about. There we go. Go to the left a little bit. So I'll be just kind of hugging the shore. Whoa, okay. Yeah, okay. Just be hugging the shore and enjoy the view, guys. Enjoy the flight. Thanks for tuning in with me and hanging out. And let's go cruise the Kihei side of Maui and see what kind of video we can get. 87% power. And I'm getting a pretty clear, fluid video. There was a section there that I had to kind of turn out towards the ocean just to prevent, you know, from hitting any trees and stuff. But otherwise it's been pretty fluid here. I'm able to kind of just like cruise in all the nooks and crannies here above the beach. I don't want to get over too many people, obviously, but seems like it's going pretty good. Maybe getting some wind hitting it, possibly. I'm feeling a little bit of breeze there, but still pretty good. I really want to make sure I don't get too low. Wow, this is awesome. So we passed the Kihei Boat Harbor a while back, and we're just pretty much just cruising. Just hopefully no fishermen try to cast their line right on it. It should be okay though. Wow, going good. Check back in a bit. Hitting some wind. You can see it's kind of coming from the north over there, so I want to be kind of careful here, just letting it cruise kind of at its, you know, cruise speed, not pushing it any harder because we have these lithium-ion batteries. But it is blowing it quite a bit into shore, so I want to be careful. The wind's coming like directly from this direction. So just want to be a little bit careful. This looks like the Kalama Park in Kihei. Still going pretty good. There's a couple of surfers. Whoa, that thing's really blowing. I want to get out of the park here. Started to blow me into the park and the trees there. Don't want that to happen. But so far so good. Some nice shots of some little waves. Looking great. Yeah, it's really pushing me to the right. I just really want to be careful here. Work my way out just a little more into the ocean because it's really pushing me hard into that west shore, southwest shore. Looks like we'll be able to really get back with the wind on the way back, so it should be okay, because where I'm standing here in Wailea, it's perfectly calm, and we're going into the wind right now, so I think we'll be okay. But you can see how our speed, feet per second, it's, you know, it's fluctuating between like 15 and 20, so we are going pretty much right into the wind. Just want to be careful along this shoreline. I want to get out a bit so I have a little bit of a buffer. You see it? Whoa, you see that just really blowing me into the trees there. Whew. So we're still at good battery power, 83% on the lithium ion, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as it's not really working the motor constantly full blast, it should be okay. Check out the map real quick. See where we're at. Wow, we're almost all the way to the north side of Kihei. So looking really good. 50 feet pretty much the whole time. And you can see the camera is tilted slightly to the left because that wind is just blasting at it. It does try to level it out, but there's a lot of wind hitting it right now. Pretty neat though, following these waves, checking these waves out. Let's turn back towards the beach just a little bit, see how much we pick up in speed. We'll be able to see really how much the wind's blasting. Yeah, see that? Whoa! We were going like fully sideways there for a sec. So I want to be careful. Woo! Man, that is some wind, guys. Holy smokes. Wow, that thing is blowing me sideways. I may just want to turn around because if it gets much more radical than this, we may have some problems. So, should I turn around now? I think I'm going to turn around just because look at the way it's blowing it sideways. So I'm going to go to the left here and turn around. We made it 7.1 miles outside Kihei. So look at it blowing us back now. Holy smokes. It's cooking us sideways. Look at this. Wow. So I definitely want to get out here a ways before I turn, because if it's going to blow me, you know, right back into the shore, that could really be a disaster. Just want to see if I can see the shore. Yikes. Let me see where I'm at on the map, how far out I am. Yeah, so you can see it there, really working the craft. Blowing it all around. Boy, I'm pointed like right at Kaolave, and I'm going at 50 feet per second. Okay, so we're really cruising at a clip now. Turning so we can possibly maybe see. All right, there's where I am, way over there by McKenna Cinder Cone. Nice. how fast we're going now, 63, 64 feet per second. So we're zipping along, going extremely fast. So we're gonna get back here with like probably 70% or more power left. So maybe we'll try and fly around a little bit, some other locations. But it's doing a good job at keeping its altitude right around 50, even though it's being blasted from the rear pretty hard. Awesome. So we're pretty much going right with the wind now. Look at that, 60 feet per second. Screaming. Okay. So do you see that? Right when I got kind of past that catamaran there, the wind just kind of dropped. I guess I hit the still point, the shelter, and definitely the wind dropped a whole lot. The craft was moving around a bunch, but now we are really pretty a-okay. I just want to make sure I don't, of course, hit any hotels and stuff, so I'm going to keep it kind of in the water here because it's a little precarious when you're going with the wind and going so fast. So it seems to me like we really have pretty much got out of the wind, any kind of wind threat, so looks like we can kind of wing it a little more closely here. You know, this is a foam plane, so I'm not really too worried about it. If it does fall, it's very soft and there are not any hard points on it to hurt anybody, so it should be a-okay. Nice. Let's pitch the camera down a bit here. Hello. Pretty cool, man. Just cruising the shoreline at a good clip, 35 feet per second. So this is kind of what it cruises at in no wind, so I'm thinking we're pretty much maybe just a little bit of a rear breeze coming at the back. Just a very small breeze, perhaps. How about that little hole shot there? That was pretty cool. I was confident because the video was pretty fluid, so just kind of centered it between the two and a-okay, you know, even with a little bit of lag on the FPV, as long as you're centering it and you're not doing any kind of like crazy maneuvers, it seems okay to do stuff like that. But that was pretty neat going through that point there. You know what I might do? We're only 2.2 miles away. What I might do is, since we have so much battery left, is try to go up the mountain maybe a little bit. See what we can do here. I'm just turning down the exposure a tad. It's getting a little washed out. That looks good. So when we get back, I might just turn it up the mountain since the wind's pretty next to nothing here, and see if we can get up that way a ways and see how the 4G signal is up you know, in Wailea on the mountain a bit. home destination here, just checking out this cool catamaran boat. Kind of just buoyed out here, anchored on the buoy. Just gonna cruise by, give it a little flyby here. Cool. Neat stuff. Okay, well, we're pretty much back to our home base. I'm basically right here where that golf course is, so I think what I'm gonna do is pick it up a bit. Just get a little bit more altitude, maybe around 100. And Since we have 69% power left on the battery, I'm gonna try to fly this way. I'm gonna go back, and you see how that's basically Haleakala Mountain up there. Let me pitch the camera up a bit. You see that up there? So that's Haleakala Mountain. And what I'm gonna do is just try to fly this way away, is kind of up to the Pukalani Kula area, and maybe just see how far we can get. When this thing does lose connection, it will return to home. And of course the mountain is getting higher, so I'm gonna have to keep adjusting my altitude a bit. But check it out. So we'll see how the 4G signal is over here, I guess. And just fly around here as far as we can. Watching our feet per second, it looks like we're getting a little bit of onshore wind, so I want to be careful here. I just keep kind of adjusting it, pulling it up a bit. 150 feet altitude. Let's bring the camera down a tad. You can kind of see the foliage. Do not want to run into any trees, that's for sure. So getting pretty choppy with the 4G FPV, but we'll bring it up a little more. Let's go up to about 200 feet. And we'll just cruise this way for a while. Just for a little bit, and then we'll come back. But wow, unbelievable. This 4G mod is really working great. Let's go up a bit more. Maybe we'll just try to go straight towards the mountain up there. Whoa, look at all those birds. Chase them for a while. A little washed out. Oh, power lines, want to pick it up. Oh, this is neat, just cruising over the golf courses of Wailea. Let's bring down that exposure a bit. There we go. You can see how it slopes up really quick. Wow, it seems like it might be raining here, so I'm going to pull it up. And maybe we'll just do a turnaround. I'm going to go ahead and turn around here, because look at that rain in the camera. Wow, okay, so let's pick it up and just kind of return by now. Get out of this rain. Okay. Back to where I was. This way. There's the McKenna Cinder Cone. So maybe I'll just land it, man. This is working really good, this 4G mod. Pretty unbelievable. It's pretty spotty, as you can see in some portions of Kihei here for the 4G coverage, but definitely absolutely doable. You can do a lot with this. You can see how I'm getting a little high, and that signal is, it's getting kind of droppy. I'm already at 400 feet because the array of the 4G is not directed straight up at the sky, obviously. So what do we want to do? The winds come in kind of from the north. So I guess I'll just come in and land it. I think that's really quite good enough to really have a good, decent test. Let's check out this hotel. They're renovating this old McKenna Beach. Used to be the Maui Prince. Let's do a flyover on this real quick and check this out. They were gonna renovate it, now they're just like demolishing it. So check it out, it's just like completely being demolished. Wow, look at this. Just blowing it up. Holy smokes. There's the old McKenna Beach, guys. AKA Maui Prince. It's getting toasted. I guess they're gonna build a whole new setup here, like condos and stuff. So, just flying right over the top of it now. There's inside the caldera. Anyway, that's it there. And I am right over here. Maybe we'll just try to land it like this. Let's come down, pick my camera up. I'm just gonna come down here and land right here. Let's try to do one of these landings. Landing. Just press landing. There it is. See it? Nice. So that worked really good. If you just press the landing, just get pretty low. So yeah, maybe I pressed the landing, the auto landing a little too late, and it still, see how it's still having that motor beep. But these propellers, they collapse down and the motor just kicks off right when it senses it hitting the ground. So I really don't think it's doing any damage whatsoever to the motor when you do manual landings. I've done many manual landings. So I want to pull the top off of this and just kind of see how it looks inside of there. Remember when we launched, we had that weird auto loiter, crazy wobbly session. Let's see how it looks. Of course, the wings just pop off, and hopefully the camera wasn't too messed up. Yeah, we got some raindrops on there for sure. But hopefully you guys could see some of that video of the shoreline, and it was really pretty beautiful there. Some areas were kind of overcast and some were sunny, so I was kind of adjusting the exposure wheel on the right. Let me just unplug this 4G modem. Let's feel how hot this is. That's pretty hot, so maybe some venting we could even do on this. A little bit more venting. It gets some air through the camera and flows here, and I do have this hole on top from my 360 camera, which is cooling it a little bit. But maybe even, I don't know, some exit vents back here might be good. And just one more vent up front somewhere so the air kind of flows through. Because it was not like hot, but it was very warm. Don't forget, guys, we'll have all the equipment, the disco equipment, all this stuff I'm using, and a link to UAV Pal where you can get instructions on how to do this down there in the description. So don't forget that. But everything looks really good. The batteries were not out of place at all. Remember when it was going like this, like crazy after that loiter, nothing got out of place. For those of you that haven't seen this setup yet, I'll show it again. I just have this Y connector here, XT60 Y connector, to plug in two Titan 3500 mAh lithium ion batteries. These guys are a little warmer than the last flight, and I think that's due to how much wind we had when we got a few miles towards North Kihei. It was picking up wind pretty darn bad. You got to cut out a little bit of foam, and you can do this mod with the UAV Pal instructions and just a little bit of, you know, following the directions. But that's it. Everything looks good. It was kind of cool. We're going through doing a couple of hole shots over there on some of those peaks, and you can do that as long as you have a decent FPV signal. You can see how in some instances it was getting kind of really blocky and blotched out, and that's just because it started to lose 4G probably. And so then I just turned to the ocean, caught back in, and then I kind of continued on my route. We got 7.1 miles, I believe, 7.1, 7.2, all the way up, just kind of going in and out of the coves. But really, when you hit wind like that where I was, and you just see the thing going sideways, and you turn into the wind and it's still kind of going sideways, if you have a lithium ion mod like this with those batteries aren't meant to put out a lot of power all the time, constant. So when you're hitting wind and you're going into hard wind like that, you're kind of really working those batteries. So something might happen where they can't put out enough amperage eventually, and they cut out. But these are just batteries meant to fly really long. They're lighter than LiPos, but they have less amperage draw. So keep that in mind if you want to do this. Just keep it really mellow and just a cruise kind of flight. Gosh, I think we were still like right around 70%, maybe 68, 67% when we came back, even after we went up the mountain a ways. So these batteries are they're proving to be just excellent for this type of plane, and probably any kind of plane in general. Stay tuned, because I'm thinking about actually putting one more of these in the back of it or inside of it and trying to figure out the weight distribution so it's not too far back. So we could possibly even be hitting, you know, over 1,000 mAh of battery power in the plane. You can see how it was keeping its height really well at 50 feet throughout the whole flight. A couple times it looked like it was coming up and down, and that was probably just because it was compensating for the wind. I'm really loving this plane, just breathing new life into it with the Ion and the 4G mods. Anyways guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next review and probably the Parrot Disco flight. Lots more to come. Thanks for watching.